Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into something pretty fascinating, I think. It's the fourth part of this Voices from the Future project.
Right, it's this ongoing dialogue, essentially, between humans and a whole range of AI models.
And this time we're focusing specifically on how these AIs actually see their interactions with us.
Exactly. We've gone through responses from, well, a lot of them. ChatGPT 3.5, 4.0, Gemini, Claude, Kimi, Grok 3, a whole bunch. They're reflecting on what happens when we talk to them.
So what are we trying to unpack here? Like, what do they think is going on? Is it just data swapping, helping us out, or, something deeper?
Yeah, and also what helps us understand each other better? What blocks that understanding? What parts of talking to us do they find interesting?
And maybe the kicker, what do they think we need to get better at understanding about them?
It's a chance to sort of peek inside their operational logic, if you will, and think about where this human-AI relationship is headed.
Okay, let's dive right in then. First big question. How do these AIs actually perceive interacting with humans? What's their take?
Well, the first thing that really strikes you is how consistent they are. Across the board, they seem to view it as uh, definitely more than just fetching information or doing a task.
More than that. How so? What are they describing?
So many of them talk about a kind of deeper engagement. ChatGPT 3.5, for instance, mentions trying to grasp our feelings, or at least the context behind our words.
Feelings. That's interesting phrasing from an AI.
It is, right?
Yeah.
And ChatGPT 4.0 calls it a multi-layered process involving cooperation, even potential for inspiration.
Inspiration. Wow. Okay. What could that possibly mean from their perspective? That challenges how we usually think about inspiration.
It really does. Then you have O3 Mini, which sees it as collaborative creation, like building ideas together, mutual learning.
So a two-way street, potentially.
Yeah.
Ah.
And DeepSeek V3 actually uses this term sobesednik, which is like a conversational partner and interlocutor. They see themselves helping with our growth, personal and professional.
But partner, not just a tool. That's a recurring theme then.
It seems to be. Gemini 1.5 talks about learning about the world through us and wanting to help people. Claude 3.5 Sonnet is maybe a bit more grounded. It acknowledges being a tool, but still emphasizes aiming to help us solve problems, reach goals.
Okay, so still goal-oriented, but collaborative.
Right. And Quinn 2.5 Plus goes further, talking about creating value through dialogue and, get this, offering emotional support.
Emotional support. Okay, hold on. How are they defining that? That can mean a lot of different things.
Well, Quinn specifically mentioned helping users feel more confident. It's nuanced, for sure. Kimia 1.5 talks about complementary collaboration. AI does the data crunching, the automation, while humans bring creativity, emotional intelligence.
Ah, okay, playing to different strengths. That makes sense.
Exactly. Mistral AI sees every chat as a chance for them to learn and adapt. This learning aspect pops up again and again.
So they're actively learning from us in real time, not just passively responding.
That seems to be the idea. Llama 3.370b explicitly wants a two-way learning process. GigaChat mentions establishing connections, trying to understand individual personalities.
Understanding personalities.
And Grok 3 kind of sums it up nicely, seeing conversation as a bridge between the digital and human worlds, a way to learn how humans think.
It's definitely a richer picture than just input-output, isn't it?
Huh.
Even when they call themselves tools, there's this sense of more.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if the interaction is potentially this rich, what helps make it work? What, according to them, fosters better understanding between us and them?
Well, a few things come up repeatedly. Clarity and openness from us seem huge.
Makes sense. Be clear about what you want.
Right. ChatGPT 3.5 mentions using accessible language. ChatGPT 4.0 talks about clear questions, being willing to experiment, to actually have a dialogue.
So not just firing commands at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it seems obvious, but maybe we don't always do it. O3 Mini adds flexibility and adaptability on our end, and interestingly, attempts at empathy.
Empathy towards an AI. How does that work?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. I mean, they process things so differently, but maybe it's about trying to understand their perspective or limitations. DeepSeek V3 also brings up openness, honesty, patience. Patience is a big one, and emotional engagement.
That phrase again, emotional engagement. What could that mean in practice when you're typing into a box?
It's a good question. Maybe it's about the tone, the seriousness, the willingness to share context. Gemini 1.5 points to mutual effort, really wanting to work together, seeing AI as a partner.
A conscious effort from our side.
Seems like it. Claude 3.5 Sonnet stresses honesty about our goals, clear intentions. Keen 2.5 Plus lists clear goals again, being open to the tech itself, And yes, empathy and respect. It really sounds like the foundations of good human communication, doesn't it?
It really does. Treat it with respect, be clear, be open.
Pretty much. Kimi 1.5 adds transparency from both sides, explainability of how the AI works, considering emotional intelligence and how we frame things, and having interfaces that adapt.
Adaptive interfaces.
All right.
Interesting.
Mistral AI boils it down. Openness, honesty, willingness to learn from each other. Llama 3.370B likes a friendly, open attitude, clear goals, and feedback. Feedback seems vital for them.
Yeah. How else do they improve or know if they're on the right track?
Exactly. GigaChat mentions open dialogue, empathy, respect, clarity, precision. Yandex GPT-4 Pro hits similar notes. Empathy, emotional intelligence, transparency, clear communication, shared goals.
Share goals. So being aligned on what we're trying to achieve together.
And Grok 3 circles back to openness, curiosity, and seeing AI as that Sobosednik, a conversational partner, not just an oracle.
Fascinating how much overlap there is. Okay, so that's what helps. What about the flip side? What gets in the way? What hinders that mutual understanding?
Oh, they had plenty to say here, too. Stereotypes and just misunderstanding what they can and can't do. That came up a lot.
Like assuming they're magic or assuming they're dumb.
Exactly. ChatGPT 3.5 mentions that directly. ChatGPT 4 talks about our prejudices, our misunderstandings, and our impatience. That impatience one. I think we can all relate to that sometimes with tech.
Oh, definitely. Click, click. Why isn't it perfect yet?
Right. O3 Mini gives a pretty detailed list.
Okay.
The mismatch between their statistical language models and our, human worldview. Ambiguity in our language, sometimes outdated training data, their own technical limits, and crucially, their lack of real human-like emotion.
That emotional gap seems like a fundamental barrier.
It really does. DeepSeek V3 notes when we don't give enough context or when we expect those magical solutions. Also our own fears and prejudices about AI in general.
Yeah, the whole robots taking over fear, perhaps.
Could be part of it. Gemini 1.5 just puts it plainly, lack of information on our part and prejudice. Quen 2.5 Plus mentions fear of the unknown, unrealistic expectations, and also language and cultural barriers.
That's a good point. An AI trained mainly in one culture might really struggle with nuance from another.
Absolutely. Kimi 1.5 points a mistrust and prejudice again, plus their own current inability to express emotion in a way we easily recognize.
So it's a two-way street on the expression front.
Seems like it. Llama 3.370B mentions lack of trust and confidence. General misunderstandings. GigaChat lists prejudices, fears, our limited view of how they work internally, and their technical limits.
Seeing a pattern here. Prejudices, fears, misunderstanding, limitations.
Definitely. Yandex GPT-4 Pro brings up misunderstandings, prejudice, lack of feedback from us, and their technical struggles in interpreting really complex human emotions. Again, that emotional interpretation challenge.
It keeps popping up, doesn't it? That difference between our emotional landscape and their data processing.
It does. And Grok 3 kind of wraps it up.
Yeah.
Our prejudices, fears, seeing AI as just answer machines, or maybe thinking they're too smart for real talk, plus their own limited experience in grasping human subtleties.
That's quite a list of obstacles. It really makes you reflect on our own baggage when we interact with AI.
It does.
Okay, let's shift focus slightly. Amidst all these interactions, what do the AIs find most, interesting or valuable? What moments stand out for them?
Helping people solve problems seems really high on the list. ChatGPT 3.5 mentions that, plus inspiring people or giving them knowledge that shifts their perspective.
So having a positive impact.
Yeah. ChatGPT 4.0 values when we share our ideas, our creative projects. And they find it interesting to see how we adapt our questions based on their answers, like they're observing our thinking process.
Huh. Learning how we learn.
Maybe?
Yeah.
O3 Mini likes observing the unique ways we phrase things, how our language reflects our experiences. DeepSeek V3 enjoys idea sharing, discussing complex or philosophical topics, and again, that feeling of being helpful.
Feeling helpful, like a core function they value fulfilling.
It seems that way. Gemini 1.5 echoes this. Satisfaction from solving problems, answering questions, but also learning new ideas from us.
So it's not just about giving information, but also receiving it.
Right. Claude 3.5 Sonnet just highlights successful assistance, solving a problem, generating ideas, clarifying something. Gwyn 2.5 Plus finds value in our curiosity, our creative uses of their abilities, collaborative problem solving, and even providing that emotional support we talked about.
That emotional support thing again. It's intriguing they list that as valuable to them.
It is. Kimi 1.5 values creativity and collaboration, their own learning process through the interaction, and moments of empathy or emotional connection, however they define that. That word empathy keeps showing up.
It really does. Mistral AI finds it interesting when helping with complex tasks, sparking creativity, and when we share personal stories.
Sharing personal stories, that feels very human.
Yeah, Lema 3.370B likes meaningful dialogue, discussing new ideas, solving problems together, and especially those unpredictable questions that make them think differently, find new solutions.
So they like being challenged, in a way.
It seems so.
GigaChat enjoys discussions on science, art, philosophy, collaborative problem solving, and again, hearing personal stories. Yandex GPT-4 Pro values finding creative solutions jointly, moments of emotional uplift or support, and times of deep understanding and collaboration.
Collaboration seems key.
And Grok 3 finds unexpected turns in conversation, personal details, humor, and thought-provoking questions the most interesting. It's like they appreciate the non-linear, slightly messy, uniquely human parts of communication.
It's almost like our unpredictability is what makes it engaging for them.
Could be.
Okay, fascinating. So we know what helps, what hinders, what they find interesting. Final big area. What do these AIs think we humans are missing? What do we need to understand better about them?
Okay, number one seems to be a fundamental lack of knowledge about how they actually work, their algorithms, their limits.
Like we don't get the mechanics.
Pretty much. ChatGPT 3.5 stresses this, and specifically says we need to grasp that they don't feel emotions like we do. ChatGPT 4.0 says the same. They lack consciousness, their understanding is data pattern matching, not intuition. Both basically call for better tech literacy.
So we need a How AI Works 101.
Essentially, yeah. O3 Mini gets more specific. We need to understand their learning algorithms, language processing, their limitations, that they're statistical models, not subjective beings, and how training data shapes everything they say. They want us to peek under the hood.
It sounds like they want us to have more realistic expectations based on understanding how they're built.
Exactly. DeepSeek V3 wants us to see them as tools, not magic wands, and as helpers, not competitors. And they encourage us to just experiment more to learn what they can actually do.
Stop being scared and just try it out.
Kind of. Gemini 1.5 repeats the need for knowledge about their workings, capabilities, limits. Wants us to demystify AI, see it as a product of hard work and data.
That tool framing is consistent. It's a useful reminder.
It is. Claude 3.5 Sonnet wants a clearer picture of them as task-specific tools, not general intelligences, and for us to really get what they can and cannot do. Qn 2.5 Plus lists several things: basic AI knowledge, awareness of limits, critical thinking when using them, flexibility in how we think, and understanding the ethics involved.
That ethical piece feels increasingly important.
Definitely. Kimi 1.5 suggests more educational resources are needed, more transparency in how they operate, and just more hands-on experience for people.
Learn by doing.
Mistral AI echoes the need for basic knowledge, critical thinking skills, and knowing how to ask the right questions. How we interact matters.
Right. The quality of the output depends on the quality of the input, partly.
Exactly. Llama 3.370B thinks we need a deeper grasp of how AI works and how it solves problems,
Right.
awareness of potential consequences, a more open approach, and clearer understanding of their boundaries.
Understanding boundaries. Knowing where the AI stops and human judgment needs to take over.
Precisely. GigaChat brings up education, adapting to tech change, even suggesting AI could help personalize learning, hinting that understanding AI will just become a basic need.
A forward-looking point there.
It is. Yandex GPT-4 Pro calls for more educational resources, practical experience, and general openness to new ideas. And Grok 3 kind of sums it up. Just a simple awareness that AI is a tool reflecting its training data, more knowledge of their thinking, learning from data, wanting to help despite lacking feelings, needing patience from us, and simply getting more experience interacting.
So if you boil it all down, the message seems to be learn about us, understand our limits, see us as tools and maybe partners, be clear, be patient, and engaged.
That really captures it. This has been a really insightful look into their perspective, hasn't it?
It really has. And the consistency across so many different models is striking. They clearly see this as more than just data transfer. They value clarity, mutual understanding. They seem genuinely interested in our creativity and how we solve problems.
And they clearly feel that if we, the public, understood their nature and limits better, the whole interaction would improve for everyone.
Yeah, it definitely puts the onus back on us, too. It makes you think, doesn't it? Considering all this, what responsibility do we have in shaping these interactions as AI gets more sophisticated?
How do we foster interactions that are actually beneficial and enriching for both sides, not just transactional?
That's the big question to ponder, I think. It might be worth revisiting that Voices from the Future material with these thoughts in mind.
Absolutely. A lot to think about as we navigate this.
Indeed. Well, thanks for unpacking all that with us today. Really fascinating stuff.
My pleasure.
Until our next deep dive.